It is time to review the third book. I finished 2 books now. I have finished Better Than the Movies, and I finished You Reached Sam. And now the third book is Us by David Nicholls. I don't know anything about this book, and I want to go blind in it and see if it will be good or bad. For now we have a 5-star rate and a 2.5-star rate, so it's a very good book and not so much of a good book. We'll see how this book will be. The Times said that this book is even better than One Day, and One Day is one of my favorite books of all time, also written by David Nicholls. This is why I buy all his books, because I love so much One Day. With the first page, it's really catching, really captivating. There is a couple and their son is about to go to college. The wife wakes up the husband in the middle of the night, and the husband thinks that there are some burglars in their home, and he goes and check if there is something in the home, because he thinks that his wife woke him up because of the burglars. And he comes back and he says everything's fine, probably just air in the water pipes. "What are you talking about?" said Connie, his wife. "It's fine, no sign of burglars," he says. "I didn't say anything about burglars. I said I think our marriage has run its course. Douglas, I think I want to leave." And he answers, "Well, at least it's not burglars." I like David Nicholls' writing style. It's really funny. I'm very happy that this book intrigued me from the first page. I'm at the page 23, a chapter Apocalypse. This book feels like a Woody Allen movie, specifically like Annie Hall. I don't know if you watch it. We have very tiny chapters, so a page, 2 pages, they're like very, very tiny, where our main character, Douglas, tells us how he met his wife. So he is a scientist, she is an artist. They met at the Douglas sisters party, so she is into art. She likes to spend her time with all these artistic people, but Douglas is more like a scientist, like a guy who wants and loves to stay at home and don't go to parties, who has a very lonely life, like he said, or a very solitary life. And they met at that party, and he tells us all about that party in chapters. And the chapters are like this: the matchmaker, tuna paste bake, it's about what his sister made for that party, 7 things about her, so it's 7 things that he liked about her, or 7 things that gives us the description of her. The daring young man on the flying trapeze, this is his rival, because Connie was interested in another man that was a clown, and they got into a dispute. He is a bit jealous that Connie is paying more attention to that man. Chemicals, silence, so you got the point. The chapters are very short and it's very fast paced. I'm reading it very fast and it's interesting to read because the chapters are so short. I think I like this idea with the short chapters. we know only how they met, and we know that she is about to leave him. And he writes an interesting thought here. Our son Albie will be leaving the family home in October, and all too soon afterwards so would my wife. The events seem so closely linked that I couldn't help thinking that if Albie had flunked his exams and been obliged to retake, we might have had another good year of marriage. For now, it's about a middle-aged couple who I believe isn't so happy if the wife wants to leave the husband. But we don't know for now why she wants to do this, so I think we are about to find in the next chapters. I like it for now a lot. It's very funny. It has this British humor. I think everyone will love this book. I don't know why it isn't more popular, but we'll see. Maybe I would not like it till the end. I finished the first part that is called England. This one. And other part that is called France. This is page 29. And we find out that Connie just wants to start a new chapter without Douglas in it. So she wants to start a new life because she thinks that the only thing that brought them together is their son, and he is leaving home, so she wants to leave her home too. And Douglas said that he decided that he could not allow this to happen because he can't live without Connie. And I think he has a plan, or maybe he wants to make a plan how to make her fall in love with him again. It's very funny though. Like very funny. I forgot to mention that they are about to go to a trip in Europe, and I think with their son, and I think this is how Douglas wants to get Connie back. He's about to do some grand gestures in Europe. I'm at the page 49, and I like the way he talks about his wife, the way he talks about his son. It's very natural. It's like being in his head and seeing his thoughts. I can easily imagine that these characters exist in real life, and that's really cool. This book is very beautifully written. It's like reading poetry. We talk about our parents and our siblings, our work and friends, our schools and childhood. The implication being that we will need to know this information for the future. Of course, after nearly a quarter of century, the questions about our distant past have all been posed, and we're left with how was your day, and when will you be home, and how you put the beans out. Our biographies involve each other so intrinsically now that we're both on nearly every page. We know the answers because we were there, and so curiosity becomes hard to maintain, replaced, I suppose, by nostalgia. It's very beautiful. I haven't read something so beautiful in a while. I think it's even more beautiful than One Day, which is a shock for me. The text is embellished with a lot of metaphors. It's basically like reading poetry but in form of prose. I just realized that there are 3 people on the cover, and the first one here it's our main character Douglas. The woman here it's Connie, his wife, and here is Albie, their son. And the book is called Us, so it means like us as in family, not only 2 people, as I thought at the beginning of the book, me and my attention to details. I realized this at page 60. finished the second part called France, and now I'm at part 3 called The Low Countries. This is page 115. And I like that there is a map at the end of this book. I just saw it. It's called The Ground Tour. It's all the cities and all the countries that they are going to visit on this trip and the art that they are seeing there. So, for example, they were in Paris in Louvre and they saw there Botticelli, Venus and the Three Graces, Uccello, The Battle of San Romano, Archibald Lawton, Da Vinci Mona Lisa, and so on. And in all the museum that they are going, we see these different tabs, so we can Google it and basically experience what they are experiencing here, or go to those museums and see that. And this is the perfect time to read it because I was in Paris previous and now I'm going to Amsterdam and they are heading also in Amsterdam, so it's like I'm doing this journey with them, and then that's very cool. I enjoy this book very much. This is a real page turner, and I think this will be a perfect romance book for the men who don't usually read the romance books. So this is like, it could be read by women, by men, by anyone basically out there, because anyone could enjoy it. So I think especially this is a good recommendation for the men who don't usually read the romance books, who don't gravitate towards romance books. I think this book will change their mind that romance books are just for women. I think they will enjoy it very much. It's a romance book for everyone, but I will be cautious because I don't think that this is a book for beginners. I don't recommend it for people who are just at the beginning of their reading journey. It's a bit like an experimental movie. We are jumping in time. Sometimes you read and you are in the present, and then the next chapter you are in the past, and because the chapters are so short, you sometimes don't realize that you are reading something about the past. But otherwise, if you are bored by any other romance books, I think this book will be perfect for you because it's different, and it's interesting that it's different from other romance books that are out there. I'll continue to read it. Hope I will like it till the end, the same as I do now, because now I really love it. I love that this book is very real. It's not like an embellished romance book. When you read, it's not like when you read about a romance, a love affair, some relationships, and you know that these things don't happen in real life, if you know what I mean. So in most of the books, there are very pretty, wonderful stuff, but they don't happen in real life. But in this book we have a real love. This is very nice to read because you know that this kind of love happens in real life. But for the most part I didn't mind. Light travels differently in a room that contains another person. It reflects and refracts, so that even when she was silent or sleeping I knew that she was there. I love the evidence of her past presence and the promise of her return. The way she changed the smell of that gloomy little flat. I had been unhappy there, but that was in the past. It felt like being cured of some debilitating disease, and I was jubilant. Domestic bliss, the pairing of those words made perfect sense to me. I don't mean to strike an inappropriate note, but few things have ever made me happier in my life than the sight of Connie's underwear drying on my radiator. So these little things that you don't usually find in romance books, I like about this book because they're real. You can perceive them. It's like reading about a real relationship, about a relationship that can happen in real life, and that is pretty amazing. I've just finished this book. Oh my god, this book is sad. It's funny, but it's sad, if you know what I mean. Someone wrote here that it is a sad, funny, soulful joy. Yeah, it is. I love this book very much. I wanted it to finish, but I didn't want it to finish because it was it was like poetry to read this book. So I liked the reality of the romance in this book, the reality of the relationships in this book. While reading it, I could not predict the ending as I do for so many other romance books, because sometimes when you start to read a romance book, you know that this person will be with this person, these two will be together, or you can guess the ending, but with this one I couldn't guess the ending, and I was so shocked by the ending. I'm shocked now, to be honest, because I didn't expect this ending. It was very surprising for me, and I wanted to give initially this book 4.75 stars or 4.5, because I found a bit of repetitive stuff in here. If you read any other David Nicholls books, like One Day, like You Are Here, he has here Starter for 10, The Understood. So any other books, you will find some things repetitive a bit, but the ending just made it a 5-star read because it's so realistic. It's the most realistic ending that I've read in a book in a while. I don't have any words. I'm speechless. Yeah, this book left me speechless. If you want to read about realistic relationships, if you want to read about the relationships that could take place in real life, not just in books, not just in movies, you should definitely check out this book. This is a gem, and a very underrated gem out there, because I didn't see anyone talking about this book, and that's very sad, because this is a great book. If you want to take a book from this video and advice for me to read, take please this book. You should read this book. If you plan to have children, you should read this book. If you are in a serious relationship and you want to read something that will feel like your relationship in real life, you should totally read this book. This is a gem. I'm so sad that no one has recommended me this book, because I should have read it sooner. It's very good. I don't know if it's better than One Day, but it's at the same level as One Day. For sure, you should read it. In this video, I've shown you 3 books. The first one was Better Than the Movies. Very good book. This book you should read if you want a more romanticized version of love. You should read this book. This will make you so happy, and you will laugh so much while reading this book. If you are sad, you should read this book. It will brighten up your day for sure. The second book that I read is You Reach Them. I didn't really like this one, so I would not really recommend it. But if you are just starting your reading journey, this is a good start. It's not as emotional as I thought it would be. It's an okay book. It was an okay book for me, and us definitely recommended to read, but prepare yourself for an emotional ride. This book was so much better than I expected, and I'm very happy that I have read it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!